What's going on, man? Backlit, new camera with a ring light, so a lot more fluid, running on 60 frames, instead of being all wiggy wiggy 30. But good evening, happy Sunday to everybody here. Just kind of want to do something a little different on this stream. Of course, we're gonna play some games. You already know what we're on with that, but um, kind of just want to vary up the content. This may be boring to some, and I'm not by any means an educator on this because I've been in it 5 years. I know what I'm doing, but I'm a terrible teacher. But just kind of wanted to show y'all what my little how I start the week off, especially since I'm a day trader. So yeah, pretty much gonna start this thing off with some chart work. It's not gonna take too long. I'm not gonna do much teaching on this, but obviously, if anybody that knows me is watching this and is curious some more to get into more details, I could definitely point you to some greater teaching resources than me and help you along with it. So, but say less. We finna get into it. So, what's going on here? Theo, what's good, bro? What's going on, man? We doing what I was talking about. Chart work. So I definitely forgot to put a little overlay over my camera, but whatever. So first thing I do when I'm checking these charts is taking what we call top-down analysis. I'm gonna go from the highest time frame to see where most of the control is going, and we go down and further in to see what we can get on entry. Since technically this week ends the trading month, it's gonna be a lot more caution taken when taking trades this week because nothing is truly official about a move until a candle closes for the most part. Obviously, there can be telltale signs of what's finna happen before the candle closes on whatever time frame you're looking at, but it's still difficult. What up, family? Nothing much, man. Just finna do some chart work right quick before we get into the games. But yeah, so and gold already acting up. So I pretty much trade all of these, or I look for opportunities to trade on them. Technically, you can trade anything if you know what you're doing. And so I don't trade pairs; I trade my setup. So I've traded pretty much external liquidity to internal. So monthly, as far as this monthly high right here, or this high right here on this wick, was obviously broken into over the course of last month. Obviously, well, technically, it was broken this month. Obviously, you see the tip of the candle is the monthly. That's the high because I'm on the monthly time frame. So that's the high of this month. So the high, obviously, according to my little data right here, is 110,794. So the corresponding time frame to look at when you're trying to zoom in on that one is the daily. So we go to the daily chart, and that's what it looks like on the daily. So the last 1, 2, 3. Well, this was all right. So Monday, the 36th, or the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. Obviously, we don't have charts open on the weekend, so that's that. There has been a quote-unquote market structure shift here, but it wasn't really like, how do I say it? I don't know how to word it properly. It's ambiguous because, as you can see, it's kind of choppy. This could be seen as engineered liquidity for a drop to go low. As you see, this is an uptrend. So you got higher highs, higher low, higher high. Then you got a lower low that broke this lower high right here, or higher high right here. So technically, it was a shift, but even the way I trade, like I said, I do external liquidity to internal. So that's pretty much another fancy way of saying higher highs and the higher lows or whatever, depending on what the trend is. So this here, what I'm gonna put a rectangle in between, is what we call a fair value gap. Usually, if I see that get violated, as soon as it happens, I'm looking on a lower time frame to see validation on the 1 hour time frame. So 1 hour time frame, as you can see, it broke through the bottom, but nothing in here was be like, yeah, I need to sell this. So obviously, but ultimately this thing is bullish, so you kind of want to be waiting for ways to buy. I mean, the last shit since October of no, fuck it, since May of 2025 has been an uptrend month or uptrend daily, so it's been heavy bullish. So obviously we waiting on to get a lower to hit a lower high or to make a higher low, then to proceed to trade higher. But right now it's kind of choppy and everything's kind of ass. So, but actually, here was one double bottomed right here. Didn't make a lower low because obviously it said higher high, higher low, a little bit of a higher high, more of a liquidity grab than anything, than a lower drop. But it didn't break this low right here. It stopped there. So what happened was it produced what I call a fair value gap. 1, 2, 3. So 3 candle pattern in which a large gap is left in the series of 3 candles. So what I would do usually, I draw another rectangle between those, and then I'd either wait for the next hourly candle to respect this gap under here and go down, which obviously it didn't. So when it actually broke above this gap and it closed above it, as you can see, price in the next hour did this. So within that time frame, somewhere on the 5-minute time frame, I would look for a confirmation and to proceed higher. But ultimately, if I wanted to be aggressive, as soon as I saw this candle close above this gap right here on the fair value gap, I would have just set a set limit here, and to be completely safe, you want to always have your stop loss where it invalidates the trade I did completely. So I would have stopped here, depending on how much money I was willing to lose. So what's that? That's 30 pips. That's not bad. So I only risked like 0.5%. So I probably would have did a 250 lot and would have targeted a 1 to 3 from there. So, you know, that's kind of how I go. But right now, I don't see shit on this that I'm looking forward to. So screw that pair. Go to the monthly. On this is still bullish. As you can see, it's been nothing but highs going up on the daily. I need a new mouse too. Good lord. But one thing I was looking at, I'm actually looking, because as you can see, we're going to higher highs. We've been bullish. Then we had a manipulation candle followed by a change in market structure, and went right down. 1, 2, 3. What do we got? Another fair value gap, right? So that's literally what I've been waiting on. But I wanted to get to here because that's the initial one. 1, 2, 3. So what I would be looking for a price to hit this entry. As a matter of fact, screw that. Even more powerful. We got an inverted fair value gap from this one, which also went to a displacement. So that's a bullish sign that it wants to go down, which is why it's been kind of choppy. That's why I got an alert set right here for when price hits that. I'll be looking for another confirmation to drop down. And my confirmation, if I had a personal account, because right around there was in the golden zone between the 61.8 and 78.6. And then if I got confirmation for it to sell, my TP would be right here. And that's a lot. That's a lot of holding, but it's a lot of money too if you know what you're doing. So that's the kind of move I'm still looking at. It's obviously still bullish, so you should technically be looking for sales. But since we're at unknown highs, I'll probably, and actually, now that you look at it, now I'm looking at my fib, inverted another fair value gap for price to come into is right at the 27 mark. So as you can see, that would be probably a high probability trade to go to the bottom, but nothing's promised. That's why you got risk management. So, you know, but yeah, I'm definitely looking to sell because market structure shifts change here. It went from higher highs to higher lows, then it kind of broke here. Then it did a massive drop over a series of days. And it's been doing a complicated or a complex pullback. As you can see, it's very stagnant and ambiguous. So obviously it's probably about to drop back down, and that's kind of what I want to do. So doing the same thing on the GJ. They're both Japanese pairs, so that's why I got alert set. Those are the pairs I'm looking to trade because it broke the low. And let's go to the monthly to see what the target is. But then at the same time, that's still ambiguous too because you got a fair value gap here that is obviously respecting. So but this one you probably a little bit more cautious. But like I said, if my price action hits here and I see a confirmation to go down, I'm still gonna sell it. So you can trade with the trend, against the trend. You can still lose regardless. So some people may say that's unwise, but whatever. I do what I want. USD JPY, good lord, this is just ambiguous as hell on the monthly because it's against the dollar. So screw that pair. So on the monthly, we've been bullish. We've actually broke structure here and made a higher high. So honestly, if I were to trade here, I'd be looking for a buy at this area right here. But let's look at the daily and see what we can come up with. All right, bet. In fact, forget that. Hold on. Let me mark my fair value gap with this square here because this is all I do. This is the only trade idea I use. I don't do anything else. I don't blend, whatever. This is how I do it. And considering that it broke structure with bullish displacement, is a good sign. But like I said, do not trade without confirmation. So right here, obviously, it's already done it. But it may come down, eat this liquidity. And somewhere in here, I'll be looking for an hourly time frame switch up for me to go back up. And then we can go, shit, who knows? But that's monthly, so you don't necessarily have to have a big target to make some money. But I would aim probably here or here for these equal highs here in a sense. So, but that's just me. But yeah, EU. Let's go to the monthly. Looks like the stuttery. Fair value gap down here, but that's like months back, so it would take forever for that to drop. So obviously I wouldn't be doing that. Let's go to the weekly, see what's cracking. This is an inconsistent fair value gap of opposite candles. It's one red one and two blue ones. So I'm actually expecting that to fail. So, and for confirmation, if it were to drop through this somehow, break this structure, clearly close, I get a bearish candle closing below this area right here. I wait for it to come back here and probably to drop and probably aim for this here. That's an area of liquidity for real. So, you know, that's just me. But obviously on the weekly time frame, I'll be looking for a 4-hour confirmation. Because technically this low was broken, as you can see. It went down. But at the same time, it also broke this high again. So you just don't know. Or technically this 4-hour candle is still in the making. So it doesn't close until like 9 o'clock. So we'll see. GU, let's see what that's looking like from way back. Technically it's still bullish, but on the weekly, that technically broke through this fair value gap. So right here, it could potentially drop to a sell, depending on what happens in the next 4 hours. But this is also a displacement candle that broke this low. So hell, if I paid for my trade view, I set another alert here. And potentially when they get there, I look for like another 15-minute confirmation change in state of delivery on the 15-minute time frame, aka when it goes from higher highs to higher lows or lower highs and lower lows, then I jump in on the next available opportunity. But that's just that too. Gold, this shit is, the world is on fire. We haven't gotten a monthly low in forever. Right now, we're at, so just for today, the market's only been open on gold for 15 minutes, and we're already up freaking 40 or 41 points. Like, the world's on fire, and everybody's putting all their money in the gold reserves. So, that just is what it is on that. So, if you're looking for anything selling, you're retarded. So, to be honest, and this looks like the target that's going to be targeted this week, and monthly, we just bullish, so hell, I mean, why wouldn't we aim for this at the top? So gold gonna make niggas millionaires if you got the money. So, but yeah, so especially if today closes above this low right here, I'll definitely be selling that shit. So, or we're not selling, but buying it. What up? I stream the cartoon and see great potential. I'm cool, bro. But yeah, so. But yeah, gold bullish, and you shouldn't be trying to sell it. Already in this hour, we've got, I remember before this gold boom over the last year and some change, dog, it would take like, this is like a week's worth of move that's happening in like 15 minutes. It's insane how much gold has just gone volatile over the last few months due to all the macroeconomic challenges and politics and everything. The world's on fire and everybody's panicking to save their money. So that's just what it is. But yeah, we buying on that. I just don't know where yet. So. But like I said, I'll probably just wait for today's candle to close out or see what's cracking in the next few hours, and try to make any kind of bullish trades. I'm buying. I don't give a damn where it's at. But we buying. We making buys. We're not doing no sells. This is the dollar index. As you can see, the dollar ain't been shit in a very long time. Plummeting. Right now it's kind of consolidating. Might go out from some lows and aim for some highs. You just never know. The NASDAQ, everything on that shit is bullish, so it'll be wise to reserve your timing for buys. But at the same time, if you see lower lows be broken or structure change or whatever on a macro time frame, such as the monthly, weekly, or daily, it'll be cool to do a short-term sell. But a lot of people just say trade with the trend. I trade what I see, so but I don't be stupid either. So, and this is the Dow monthly. All the exchanges are going up, so that's bullish too. So on the monthly, since it's bullish, I go to the daily, see what's cracking. Right now, this fair value gap was technically, it hasn't been consistently inverted, because as you see, it goes down, it comes back up, and goes right above it. So this is just a dangerous zone, because you got an inverted one here, and you got an actual regular fair value gap here, but it hasn't broken any structure either, so it's technically still bullish. So we would still be wise to just buy. So, but yeah, probably didn't explain that all the best. Like I said, I'm not the best educator. That's just not my thing. But I just wanted to just show you what I actually look forward to every week. Traders hate the weekend because there's money to be made during the week, and lots of money to be made if you know what you're doing. I've been trading 5 years, and this is probably the best year I've had so far. Got to make $9,000 more so I can get my payout thanks to these dumb consistency rules. Thank you, GoFunded. But anyway, that's that. Okay. Yeah, appreciate that, bro. So I'm pretty sure I just spoke in a completely different language. So if I did, my bad. That's how it goes. Thanks for this camera recommendation, because this is great. That's so it undims. Back to this.
My Hero Academia holds justice. Crazy up there. I am not ready for the likes of those individuals.
how delayed this shit is. Yeah, I don't like this delay at all. Yeah, I see what Agent was talking about. I don't like this delay either. I should probably just use Streamlabs instead of this crap. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm probably just gonna plug my joint directly into plug my shit directly into the monitor, cause I'll be damned if I gotta delay that bad. I'm sorry, that's not happening.
What's good? If I put this with that. What's good?
You know what? I'm literally about to start the stream over.
There's so much. I keep getting distracted.